Well, hey guys, sorry for the horrible video quality right now. I'm trying to record this in my Jeep because I filmed this and did this a few days ago and thought I uploaded it and checked today, and I guess the file didn't go through and I can't get it to load back up. And I'm actually at my hunting camp in Braxton County for the week, so I'm having to redo it now. So we'll see how this goes, but try to get started here real quick. So all right. Well, I did my presentation or my research on utilizing the Equipter RB4000 roofing trailer to reduce roofing injuries and costs. The reason I wanted to do this is for the last 4 months I've been working for a roofing and sheet metal company. So I kind of just wanted to do some research in regards to that to try to fix some of the safety hazards I've been noticing. As you can see right now, this would be how my actual poster is lined up if it was actually printed out and we took it to one of the places to present. So I just kind of had it set up with the Equipter's logo, West Virginia, of course had the actual school right here. Then I put it up in the abstract background, cost benefit analysis, data and pictures, conclusion, references, so on and so on. And I'll go in detail in all those in separate slides. That way we can actually see and look at them better. But I guess we'll just start off here for the abstract. So the CDC has determined that each year in the U.S. more than 310 construction workers are killed and more than 10,350 are seriously injured by falls and heights. From those deaths, 124 were from roofs, 104 were from ladders, and 60 of them were from scaffolds. A lot of these injuries could have been prevented by using fall prevention measures such as wearing fall protection devices, using correct anchorage points, not carrying supplies up and down ladders, and being trained on specific hazards, and much more. One of the major hazards that go unrecognized the most is the carrying of supplies up and down ladders. Employees want to avoid the hassle of installing a complicated pull system, so they normally carry the equipment up by hand. And this really does prevent this, or this presents a serious hazard with the ladder and fall protection on the job site. I've seen it, plenty of times already that I go to a job site, and sometimes it's just simple things like employees carrying hammers and carrying some light tools up. But other times I see them carrying some, really heavy pieces of equipment or scaffolding or some boards, posts up to the roof. And that really does present a big hazard on the job site. So again, as I've already mentioned, over the last 4 months, I've been working as a safety intern for this roofing and sheet metal company. In my limited time, I've witnessed a multitude of hazards, but gained a significant experience in the safety industry. I've clocked in over 450 hours and conducted nearly 80 roofing inspections on industrial and residential jobs. Of those 80 inspections, I have broken down my most common deficiencies that I found. Fall protection ranked 33.3% of all of them, and ladders took 25%. They are by far the most common hazard I have recognized. Some of these include improper fall protection and devices and improper ladder installation. However, a handful of these were catching employees carrying supplies up and down ladders. And so again, going back to talking about this, if I'm at these job sites an hour, a week, and not even in one specific area, you will say 20 minutes around that ladder area, and I'm catching these employees carrying supplies up and down it, there's no telling how many times they are actually doing it throughout the week, and who knows how long it's going to be until someone falls and gets injured. It probably won't be very long. But again, over the following months, I kind of just wanted to figure out how to fix this, so I wanted to discuss the situation with several of the foremen and some of the seasoned roofers to try to get their opinions on the matter. The consensus of why they actually continue to carry supplies up and down these ladders regardless of the risk is that they just really aren't provided the correct equipment to get the materials up and down without, taking 30, 40 minutes. They just want to be quick and get the supplies up there. Because again, we do have devices to help the roofers get equipment up there, but every time they move the ladder, they have to set up these pull systems, move them over. There's a weight capacity, and it still presents a hazard for swinging, depending on the type of pull system that we have installed. So a lot of the roofers just would wish to carry the stuff up themselves. So I spoke with my boss on this, and he's actually had the same issue over it, throughout the years. But he was talking about a piece of equipment called the Quipter RB4000 roofing trailer that they were considering trying to get that might fix this issue, at least somewhat fix it. And so this is kind of why I wanted to do my research on it, because I found it interesting what he was talking about for it. So I just kind of did a very limited and quick cost benefit analysis of it. Realistically, I would like for the company to actually have the piece of equipment and then use it for a year or so. Then we can go back and compare the information, the results from what we previously had. But I just took some of the cost breakdowns of the actual machine, plus some of the violations off of OSHA's website, along with some of the injury rates that we've had at the company, and kind of stuck them all together and kind of compared them in a sense. So just to start off, we're going to talk about the Quipter RB4000 cost breakdown. So the initial cost of it was $34,000. If you include all the accessories, there's an 8-foot roof chute, there's a gutter protector, extension kit, track mats, outrigger pads, and side extension kits. The actual cost of the entire machine comes out to $35,454. If you look at the time actually for training on it, according to their website, and from what I could find on OSHA's website, there's not really any regulation on it yet because they're fairly new. So as of right now, the only training you have to actually have on it is a 6-minute operation video and a 10-minute step-by-step video of it. However, I probably would recommend the same type of training that you would use for a forklift, or just kind of some equipment like that, if anything. But according to them, the only time it takes is a 16-minute time spent for the training. So, that will reduce costs as well for it. And also there's a 2-year full coverage warranty set on it. Now, going into the violation costs. And again, these are just speculation of it, and they're definitely vague. But from what I can find on OSHA's website, for a similar violation for carrying equipment up a ladder, a similar violation costed the company $3,000.80 per penalty for it. Again, that might be different for us, or it might be different for a different company, but that's what I found for them. Now, the injury costs as well that I could find from the average of it from the CDC was $68,000 per an injury when an employee falls off a ladder and gets hurt. If you consider the violation on top of the injury cost, the total cost for it comes out to $71,000.80. So I took that number, and I took the other number for the cost breakdown, and I wanted to average out our injury rates for the company. And so over the last 2 years, we've had 4 fall from ladder injuries that actually resulted in some serious injuries of people. Broken ankles, hurt back, bad neck, so real injuries from them. And from those, again, so we're averaged out 2 falls a year, give or take. And again, each injury comes out to $71,000.80 an injury. So in just 1 year time, I took the 2 injuries, times it by the 71,080, come out to $142,160 per year just in injury rates claims for ladders. And then again, we have the cost breakdown of the RB4000. So we take the total expense minus the total investment divided by the total investment times 100, which is again our rate of investment, which is 300.9%. So what this actually means is the investment of $35,454 will profit the company over 3 times its actual investment cost. Again, this is all of course, regarding injury costs, not direct profit costs. I do not have the information or the ability to actually look at the profit costs that this might have for the company. And also, this is speculating that no other fall injuries will actually occur from other factors. So again, we could make the investment of having this, and 4 roofers fall from the actual roof, not because of the ladders. It kind of completely does away with it. But this is just considering they're only going to get injured from falling off a ladder while carrying supplies. And if they follow the 3 points of contact, as long as everything's tied off correctly and they're not carrying supplies up because of this machine, they shouldn't fall from it. So again, but we'll talk about the benefits in a second. So now, go, you can look at the data and pictures for it. So I set up my chart with my personal 4 months number of deficiencies, and then compared it to the company's 1 year of deficiencies. The total that I have is 50 deficiencies, and the company's is 830. Well, between those, I took the top 3, which is fall protection 33.3, ladders 25%, and fire safety 16.7. But again, ladders is the one we're looking at for this. So we have 25% of those, or 13 hazards, have come just from ladders alone. For the company, in 1 year full of deficiencies, it is again, fall protection, fire safety, and then also ladders. So again, the same top 3 company-wide are the main 3 deficiencies here, but 14.2% are from ladders, or 116 hazards. And so the Equipter website claims that 50% of its owners estimate that it pays for itself in a year. Again, I don't have the ability to actually look at that number right now because we don't actually have the equipment yet. And again, I already talked about the example of this with the penalty cost, including the OSHA violations. But if the company could just buy 2 of these and just avoid 1 fall from the ladder incident, we would already get their money back. And again, this isn't even considered the money saved from the worksite efficiency and job rate completion. So yes, I would agree that the Equipter RB4000 is worth the money if the company has the money to do so. And here are just a couple of pictures of people actually using the equipment. And so this first one here, you have a roofer bringing some wood up onto the roof here. Instead of actually having to go rent an aerial lift, go rent some type of machinery to get the equipment up there, they actually own this piece of equipment, and so they can get their supplies up to the roof without having to risk fall from it. And he's tied off correctly, have his gloves on, so everything's good in it. The second one here, as you can see, this same piece of machinery turns into a dump bed. That is another big hazard that I've seen so far on job sites, especially on some more of the residential and some of the big commercial ones. The guys where we'll have our dumpster at, right on the side of the roof, they don't want to have to go through the hassle of tying off and then going to throw their supplies over the roof into the dumpster. Instead, they just quickly go over it and throw it over. That presents a huge hazard because, well, if they're throwing it over and a piece of the metal they get their throw catches onto their shirt, it's going to just drag them straight over to the side. Well, having a piece of machinery like this, and you bring it up to the roof's edge, and then we set up cones and we set up our railing on the side of it, people can just take it, throw the trash on it, and then when it gets full, lower it down, and then just take it straight over and dump it into the dumpster. It really takes a lot of the, it won't completely stop fall protection or falls from it, but it should reduce some of the hazards from occurring. It at least will reduce some of the deficiencies that we find. Again, those are just a couple of the pictures, and the bottom one is just again, the same thing. They're taking the shingles off of the roof, and the left side shows how messy it is. The right side shows that it goes straight into the Equipter dump bed. So again, go into the benefits for a second. But this bottom chart here doesn't actually go into the benefits. I just couldn't fit it into the data slide. But this is just kind of showing how I ended up getting the number for the 68,000. Where to go? Yeah, the $68,000 per an injury. This is kind of how they averaged it out for those 3 years. Again, this data, some of the data is older, but this is just what I was able to find for it. But unlike simple shingle lifts, the Equipter RB4000 is a jack of all trades. It can be taken virtually everywhere on a job site, will evenly distribute its load weight, reduces property damage, improves efficiency, reduces fall injuries, and will lift, everything from shingles, sheet metal, tools, and equipment. Other uses of this equipment includes the ability to have material loaded directly into it and then transported to the job site. The Equipter RB4000 is designed to hold roughly 15 square shingles or 1,500 square feet and can be used as an on-site dumpster if needed. Again, talked about all those in these pictures right here. And it really would be useful if you have any familiarity with the roofing end of it now. But here's just a conclusion of it. So utilizing the Equipter RB4000 specifically in residential roofing companies will be very beneficial in controlling losses due to the indirect and direct costs of it, including but not limited to time off work, OSHA violations, insurance costs, work efficiency, and labor costs. It's technology like this that can really excel a company into an entirely different level than others. By being innovative and willing to change, it is a crucial attribute to have to keep up with the continually changing safety industry. So that's kind of, the slides that I have here. But our company is in the process of actually trying to buy one of these machines right now because of a funding that we got for a safety end of it. Unfortunately, I won't be there while we actually get to use it. However, I am excited to see, maybe in the future, to see if it's changed the company's safety end of it. I like to go back and kind of compare the data that I have to see what theirs are now, to see what deficiencies they have. But again, guys, that's it. Again, sorry for the awful background, being in the car doing this, but God, I had last second, didn't realize it didn't post. But have a good day and a good break.